You know, someone very profoundly once said, many years ago, that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Oh, beautiful, full spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Patriots and Petticoats, it is my pleasure to welcome you aboard Flight 1776 with service to the United States of America and continuing service to a more perfect union. Federal regulations require that carry-on items are stowed prior to closing the aircraft door. Your items may be placed in an overhead compartment or completely under the seat in front of you. Use caution when placing items in or removing them from the overhead compartment, and let us know if we may assist you. In order to expedite the boarding process, please be seated as quickly as possible after stowing your items and take a moment to review the Constitution and Declaration of Independence located on the device in your pocket. If you are unable or unwilling to perform the functions as described on those documents, please let us know and we will find a more suitable destination for you. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to spending our evening with you. Oh, I have myself muted. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuesday evening's edition of Patriots and Petticoats. You have with you this evening myself, literally Heather, and my co-host Chris. Unfortunately, Eric cannot join us because he thought he would be cool and go to Sarasota, Florida for the week. So, boo to him for escaping the cold weather. Although he can't
It's
swim
cold there.
because it's still cold there. So, ha ha ha, Eric, if you're tuning in. Heavy, hello. It is good to see you. Miss Daisy Girl, it is also good to see you. Casey, good to have you guys in here so fast. So funny story real fast. So there is this e-whore that has been following me around Twitter. And anytime I post anything, she will comment on it. So she's like super excited to watch a bunch of dudes pretend to know about history. Hashtag not my thing. So I'm getting ready to like respond to her and be like, one, no one asked you. Two, you're a fucking e-whore. So like, we're not the same. Dak Gray, Dakota Yearning, you can stop trolling me. It would be nice. Nobody wants to see your tits. Go disappoint your dad somewhere else.
Wait, what? Don't just make this.
Oh, I know. God, what am I thinking? What am I doing?
Oh, are you all by yourself now? So let's get back to
so inconsiderate of me as a co-host. Thank you, Tex. I really appreciate that. That intro is fire. Daisy, thank you so much. I did that all by myself. So I am pretty proud of that intro. Hold on. Heavy says, wait a minute. All my dude friends are disappointed. Okay, I won't run the e-whore off. You guys can go look at her tits. It's fine.
What's an e-whore? What are you talking? I don't see her. Where do you see her at?
She's on she commented on my Patriots and Petticoats post that I made earlier.
Is that from Twitter?
Yeah.
She probably likes me, so.
Probably. That's probably true. Hopefully. She probably has a crush on you.
And I'm into broken English now. So.
Are you in a Chinese sweatshop? Let me save you, sis. Okay, so.
Did someone say tits? My man.
Heavy. Come on. Okay. So I guess we're going to start with like breaking news tonight, right? So they had the impeachment vote for Senator Mayorkas. Did you see this yet?
Nope.
So here we go. We've got 215 to 215. He is not impeached officially at this point. So you had 3 Republicans join with Democrats to ensure that he was not removed. So I pulled like, and I'm not going to play all these clips, but
I
pulled.
missed that. I missed that. My deal came unplugged, Heather. I apologize.
Oh, no. It's
So
okay.
it's a tie?
Yeah. So he's good to go. He gets to remain as the border health and human or whatever it is. The
Who's this
Department of
3?
Homeland Security. Hold on. You know, as big guys like some mommy milkers. Heavy, I love you, man. Okay, so who
I don't
are...
have. If we were on my StreamYard, Heavy, I'd play us the mommy milker video, but we are not. We have special videos when you say mommy milkers in the chat.
Oh,
on our
okay.
sports show, but it's not. It's not as classy as this show.
Right.
Okay?
I don't know that I would call us classy, but we're a notch above some, I guess. Okay. For some reason my bookmarks have disappeared. Elon's moving shit around like in real time right now. So I can't find it. I don't know who the 3 are. Hold on, let me go back real quick. Actually, it's in my Liberty
It's
Happy
all
Hour
good.
chat. No. I want to make sure. I mean, because it's important, right? So Tom McClintock of California, like I can't
Never heard of
believe
her.
That's a big joke. Ken Buck, who is from Colorado.
What a
Mike Gallagher from Wisconsin.
All right, where's he live?
And and Blake Moore from Utah. Those are your 4 Republican no votes.
I expect better from a guy named Blake. That's probably more of a Gen X name. What are you doing, fuckface?
Yeah.
Those are the 3 right there that you want to check their hard drives.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like I think that probably the most frustrating thing is you see this border bill come out, and I think wait, hold on. Before we get into this is an honest question. Why do you take the impeachment vote to the floor without the votes? What's the strategy behind this?
You need the TikTok reel. Gotta get the TikTok reel.
Well, actually, I think it may be even worse than that. Maybe they thought they did have the votes. So there's that, number 1. And then somebody changed it because they're whipping constantly as they're going through the voting process. And then number 2, you want to get people on the record, right? So even if you know you're going to lose, you want to force the people that you know are holdouts that are voting no, you want to force them to put a vote in. And so this gets them on the record because it's an election season, right? So you want them to say, look, we tried to get this done. Here's your guys that are running for office right now and they didn't do it. So so you've got this border bill. Have you read through any of this? I know it's Super Bowl week. Everybody tune in. They got Super Bowl shows, all of the things with all of the places. So Game on Sports, Patriots Sports Radio, all of the places.
Sports Corp.
Yeah, you guys got to go check all of them out. You can't take an impeachment vote to the floor, setting a precedent.
Oh, bro, that was years ago. We broke that. Did you live through the Trump years?
Gotta have the votes. Well, that's what the vote is for, is to that. I mean, that's what they were doing. They were voting for the impeachment. Okay. So this border bill, there's more money given to Ukraine than...
Wait, Trump was never impeached.
He was by the House of Representatives, and he was acquitted by the Senate.
Yeah, so you weren't impeached.
Well,
I guess you are impeached.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So impeached means he was charged. And in the court or the judge or the Senate, the judiciary side, whatever. The long white-haired wig wearers said, nah, your shit don't fly, bro.
He wasn't removed. He was acquitted by the Senate. The Senate said there's not enough evidence for this.
So he was
conviction
impeached,
for
but
him.
then acquitted of that. So
Yes,
he's not impeached because he was acquitted, right?
right.
But we
So
still
he
like
was
to say, but they were charged.
right.
They were charged. Yeah,
Well,
but they
I
were
mean, that's
acquitted, but they were charged.
Senate said
Okay.
nah. Okay, so this border bill, obviously, I should call Dan Crenshaw and invite him on to our show so that he can
I
explain
got
it
his
to us
flag.
because we're not able to understand the legislation. So he needs to tell us what we should be upset about and whether or not we should support it.
I
But
fly his flag, Heather.
I don't know why. I am not a Dan Crenshaw fan.
We're Pirate fans.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mike Leach was on that team.
Okay.
Dan Crenshaw, because of the patch, never mind. I guess the joke didn't land. He's not a real
I have
pirate.
no clue what
Heather.
you're talking about.
Dan Crenshaw wears a patch.
Yes, I'm
Sometimes
aware of
some
that.
people would associate a pirate with somebody wearing a patch.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pirate flag flying right there
Yeah, I
because
get
of Mike
it now.
Leach.
I thought that was maybe like a campaign flag that he had.
Oh,
So you
for
were
fuck's
like,
sake.
I'm flying his flag.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, Heather.
oh.
I'm flying Dan Crenshaw's flag in my
Like,
fucking
okay,
sports
bro.
studio.
Look, you have
I
my
would
shirt
never
in there.
have those three things wouldn't match if that was a Dan Crenshaw flag, would they? I would just be like,
No.
tell me which one is wrong here.
So Casey says he's not
Casey
cool
is
enough
right.
to be
He
a
isn't.
pirate.
Or be in the class of Mike Leach.
Mike Leach, Texas Tech legend. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So in this bill, this border bill, there is more money allocated to Israel and Ukraine than there is to our southern border. And so I read through some of the highlights. Normally I don't cheat when we're on the show, but I just want to make sure that I cover all of them. So real fast. If I can get to it. I need, like, every time I do this, you just start playing Jeopardy music. Come the fuck on, Heather. Okay, so no amnesty or legalization of anyone who is already in the United States illegally. Oh, what's up, Rude Boy? I'm glad to have you back in here. I was busy dragging whores and collecting scalps. Is it the whore that's been all over my timeline? I hope so. Funds an increase in ICE detention capacity to approximately 50,000 from 34,000. So we can detain 14,000-ish or 16,000 more people now. So there's no deterrent. We just have more room to detain you. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. At 7 days, rolling average of 5,000 encounters per day or 8,500 encounters in a single day, DHS is then required to completely shut the border down and turn away anyone who crosses. But we got to let like 8,500 people in first. And no new asylum claims will be allowed, and anybody crossing will be removed. It would end the idea of like, oh, I made it to U.S. soil. You have to process me now. That would be completely over. Border Patrol would not process the illegal crosser. They'd be removed. No asylum claim permitted unless it's made at an actual port of entry. The shutdown authority doesn't drop until crossings decrease significantly in the days following the shutdown. So here's the thing, though. There are I think it's worded like non-contiguous or non-contiguous.
Children
countries.
And families are exempt. Are
Yeah,
you
I know.
fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah. Yep. So all of it. I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous. Another $1.4 billion in FEMA funding to go to the NGOs that are bringing them over here in the first place. It ends the parolee CPB1 app. What the fuck ever that means. Like, okay, you're not going to track them with an app anymore. Are we for or against this bill? Completely against it, me personally. This allocates money to the same organizations that are creating the problems right now. You're giving this money to the same NGOs that are bringing these people into the country. It's actually it has the potential to incentivize more border entry. Casey said, I've been sick in bed. I read this whole ridiculous bill. I'm sorry you're sick, Casey. That sucks. There's a provision in the bill that would allow the president to suspend the shutdown authority. So we have to shut it down, but the president can be like, no, let's keep it open for a little bit longer. Yeah. And I mean, like, the thing is, I keep going back to this. The amount of money that's allocated to Ukraine and Israel in this bill is more than what's allocated to securing the border. So it's, I mean, for me, it's a moot point. Amnesty is very clear. Like, our amnesty laws, if they're actually enforced the way they're supposed to be, there are like 3 things that have to happen before you can claim amnesty here in the United States. You have to have a fear of persecution based off of race, religion, and there's something else. So, like, you have to genuinely be afraid that if you stay in your country, you're going to be murdered by people. So that's number 1. Number 2, you have to prove that your government is not willing to help you in that situation. Number 2, you have to be willing to check in every single country along the way and apply for amnesty. And that amnesty has to be denied before you can then go to the United States. These people are they're coming from fucking Guatemala, fast tracking on a bus or an airplane to the United States and being like, I have a fear of persecution. What? You're muted.
Heather, this is a very interesting comment for Heavy because I think he's not being facetious or being an asshole here.
No, I know.
He's really, the public believes this right here. This is honest. They think that we have to do something. We already have the president has the authority to shut it down right now. That's his fucking sole job. There's no Congress bill that needs to be passed. There's no money that needs to be exchanged hands. He just needs to put back in place what was already there, what he took out the day he sat down in that fucking chair. So this whole fucking bullshit, they're using this to get money for Ukraine. That's Heather's point. Sorry, I'm sorry for ranting. It's just that a lot of regular Americans don't understand that. It's a fucking signature of a pen. And he has the authority right now to do that. Today. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Rant over.
I could see like the veins popping out in your neck.
Yeah, because it's goddamn ridiculous. It's a fucking, they are laundering our fucking tax money and stealing it and giving it to Ukraine and making the American public believe that they can't do anything about the border unless this happens. It's a fucking lie.
Oh, they're not even making you believe they can't do it. So I've got a couple clips for you. Real quick. I'm going to go back real quick to Heavy's comment because
there's no compromise. Compromise on what? There's nothing to compromise. He's compromised our border and compromised our goddamn labor by sending it to another country. There's no more compromise. Shut the border and give us our fucking money back. That's it. That's the compromise. Sorry.
I do though, Heavy. I'm gonna kind of differentiate with Chris a little bit here. There is a compromise that's possible. Me personally, like, you're not going to be able to deport all of the people that are here. Like, it's just not humanly possible. No. We don't have the resources, the time. We don't have the ability to do it. Right now, if you are in the United States, you're a DACA dreamer, whatever, fucking legalize those people. They've been here for 10 years, whatever. They're trying to just live their best life. Do it. Legalize all of these people. They're already here, Chris. Like, we're not going to be able to get rid of them.
You're right about that. I was talking about Heavy's comment. He's like, Chris, that's not going to happen. We have to be realistic here. It's not going to happen. They're just not going to steal our labor and launder it through Ukraine. That's just not going to happen. So let's be realistic and give it to them.
Oh, I don't think that's what he's saying. Fuck? I don't think that's what he's saying. Hold on. Just hold on. So
I'm getting heated.
I know. So I think they're number one. Fucking just give them all citizenship, actual legitimate citizenship. I feel bad if somebody went through the proper channels and the proper process.
We don't have enough prisons for that. We're going to
Well,
have
we
to
don't.
build
I
prisons.
mean, like, could you imagine how
How many of them are criminals?
how many ICE agents we would have to, and there's the other thing. There have to be contingencies there, right? So, and then you're going to have to actually enforce the border. If Border Patrol catches you coming into this country illegally from this point moving from whatever today's date is, February 6th. If Border Patrol catches you, you're out. Like, there's no amnesty. There's no, oh, okay, I see what he's saying. I'm saying Biden isn't going to shut the border down. We have to think realistically here. Your solution is not an option. So I get that. That's what I thought he was saying.
But we can still call out their lies.
Yeah.
Because he can do it right now. He might be saying, no, I'm not gonna do that with the border until you give me all the money I want for Ukraine.
Right. Well, and not
That's
just
what's
Ukraine.
happening.
There's money for Israel too. So this was done.
Or money for my wars.
Here's what's really fucking funny about this, right? So you had Republicans. So nobody really wants to solve the border crisis. They don't give a fuck. Period. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. It doesn't matter if you're in Congress. It doesn't matter if you're in
at the federal level.
The federal level, yes. They do not care. Yeah. Okay. So
maybe a couple of them do.
Maybe. But not enough. Yeah. And so the Democrats said, well, if I'm going to let you pass this bill, then you have to throw money in here for Ukraine.
Yeah.
And Republicans said, okay, if we're going to give money to Ukraine, we have to give money to Israel. So they thought they'd pit them against one another at that point. So I'll let your Ukraine money go through, but you're going to have to let my Israel money go through, because the left, and so you're already seeing it right now, right? Like the Freedom Caucus or the far right extremists,
Matt Gaetz and the crew,
right? They're like, fuck this, no. Standalone bill. We're not passing all this fucking money. And then
which is the right decision, I think.
I agree. You have the far left that's sitting there saying, "Oh no, we're not funding Israel. We're not giving Israel any of that fucking money." So you've got these two. Factions. It's really interesting. These two factions that are completely in opposition to it for two completely different reasons. And then you've got this muddled middle group of people that are like, we're just the uniparty, so we're just gonna
give me my salary.
Yeah,
what are we having for lunch?
Ruboy said, yeah, they do. They know full well they should be coming here through a manned port of entry, especially if they're going to try claiming asylum. Absolutely, 100%. And the reason that they don't is because they've been coached, carried, and paid for by all of these NGOs, which get their money from FEMA, which gets their money from us. So we're paying for it. We already said that one. Is this a quid pro quo out in the open? Biden's taking a page out of Trump's.
Is a quid pro quo out in the open.
Biden
1775. Sorry.
Committing the crime out in the open. Quid pro quo. Impeach Biden. They're already trying. They're not going to, though. They don't have enough time now at this point. Yeah. Okay, I got a couple clips for you, though. Because that's what I do. I get all the clips. Okay. So here is so a minute ago you were talking about like, oh, so they have managed, oh gosh, the spin that came out of Joe Biden's mouth today, I was just, I didn't think I would be able to see this, but here we go. I've got 3 clips of him real fast.
Day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends. It's time for Republicans in the Congress to show a little courage, to show a little spine.
So you have our president now spinning. Like it took one day for them to be like, well, the reason the border's not closed is because of Republicans. It's their fault. You're right, Heavy. And let me work my way through these clips. You guys are going to be entertained by the president of the United States tonight. This is one of the first times he's been at the podium in a hot minute. So as they're trying to shove fucking Ukraine money down our throat, imagine the president of the United States representing.
This bill would also address 2 other important priorities. First, provides urgent funding for Ukraine. I'm wearing my Ukraine tie, my Ukraine pin, which I've been wearing because they're in dire straits right now, defending themselves against a Russian onslaught, a brutal conquest. The clock is ticking. Every week, every month that passes without new aid Ukraine means fewer artillery shells, fewer air defense systems, fewer tools for Ukraine to defend itself against this Russian onslaught. Just what Putin wants.
Wait, Jake, who are you talking about? Who's they? Kind of their fault. They didn't put permanent solution in place for what? Because I just want to make sure that I'm understanding what you're talking about. He sounds remarkably lucid in these clips so far. Lucid for Biden at any rate. Yeah, I thought so too. And then he's asked, okay, what if we do a standalone bill?
If this bill fails, would you consider supporting something separate that just addresses Israel or Ukraine?
I'm not going to concede that now. We need it all. The rest of the world's looking at us, and they really are.
Watch this walk off.
This Congress does not have immunity, Mr. President. Your reaction to that ruling?
Fucking hell, man. And then last one.
Please enjoy the performance that's about to begin. All right. We're going to walk off here and get our performance.
We are the laughing stock of the world at this point. But okay, so a couple thoughts. He was lucid. Rude Boy, you made a really good point with that. They're doping him up with something, but the two walk-offs are telling, I guess. But how does it look when this is the first time I've seen him at the podium in a long while, like maybe months? So you come to the podium and you're talking about representing not the United States. You're wearing your Ukraine tie and your Ukraine pen. Like, do we even acknowledge that and be like, is this our president, or am I overthinking that? I mean, that's what I do. I'm a girl. So am I just over analyzing that? I should just be cool with our president going up wearing the colors and representing another country.
Nope.
Is that cool?
Nope. It's not okay. But here we go. We're here, aren't we?
Yeah. Jake says Republicans.
Probably Trump's fault. Did somebody fucking call Trump? It's probably Trump's fault.
That Biden's wearing Ukraine colors.
100%.
Can you believe that? Like that spin. The reason the border is not secure is because of Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans. What? No, bro. It's because you put billions of fucking dollars in the bill, and
It's
the bill
fucking
doesn't
crazy.
even need to be passed. Like that's
No.
the thing. We don't need any new legislation. Just enforce the laws that are on the books right now. The laws. I'm not talking about the executive order edicts.
No. Just the laws.
Yeah.
Just laws of the Constitution.
Heavy says they should have built the wall. I love it when Heavy like fucks around and just jokes around.
Yeah, he's trolling.
I know. 10% for the big guy. We don't know what all the money is going to Ukraine is doing. They need an audit. The media voted for Biden and he turns his back on them. That could be very dramatic. Like he turns his back on them. Okay. So there was a hearing today. Well, wait, hold on before I go to the hearing. I want to play this clip for you because we're talking about border security and border stuff real fast. Watch this clip of CNN real fast.
You don't touch our police officers. You don't touch anybody.
Oh, wait, hold on real quick. Just to give context to you guys. So there were police officers assaulted by like 4 or 5, maybe 6 different guys that were illegals. Excuse me. And the guys were released the very next day. No cash bond. Like, we got you. And they're just walking through, like throwing middle fingers up, like, fuck you, motherfuckers, whatever. So this 4, okay, it's in huge fucking letters on the screen. 4 migrant suspects in assault flee to California. So I'm going to play this clip for you. So this is Kathy Hochul being like, you don't touch our cops. You don't do that here. And it's like, bitch, please.
Thank you, everybody.
I mean, we're hearing a change when it comes to immigration in general from President Biden on down. To hear her talk about that, it is also directly related to the fact that these were police officers. Does that have any impact? Does that change?
Wait a minute, just real fast. These were police officers, as if they're a different class of individual. It's not acceptable for you to touch our police officers, but fuck the people you kill in drunk driving accidents. Fuck the people that you murder with your MS-13 cartels and gangs. Fuck all the people that have been victims of these people, but you touched our cops. So, I mean, like, that's not allowed.
Anything?
Well, it's so complicated because, you know, you're a New Yorker, you move through the city every day as I do. We see these people, we touch these people, they're out looking for work, they're delivering our food, they're at the gas stations and the car wash. I mean, these are people who came in waves, you know, 170,000 probably to New York City. But within that group, this hardworking, you know, throngs of people in search of hope and a better life, there is this 1%er, you know, criminal element that looks at a different opportunity here. These individuals, I went over their rap sheets yesterday, multiple charges, grand larceny, robbery, attempted robbery, grand larceny, grand larceny. This particular crew operated on mopeds and scooters. They were doing organized retail theft. They were doing snatches on the street, iPhones, iPads, clothing, so on and so forth. One of them that they are still seeking has 10 charges on one day because he's part of a pattern that's been going on. And I'm looking at the dates that their arrest started, which is probably close to when they got here. They've only been here a couple of months. So what the detectives are telling me is they have crews here that operate in New York, do all their stealing, then go to Florida to spend the money and then come back. And I'm like, well, why don't they just stay and steal in Florida? And they said, because there you go to jail.
Oh.
Great report. Keep us posted on this.
Oh my God.
They didn't even know what to say.
Yeah, he's like, they're like, wait a minute, and you can hear it, like you can see on their they're like looking at each other, and they can hear it in their comms. They're hearing, don't respond, don't say anything, cut to break. Like you can visibly see it on their faces that they're like
good point.
And so he's like, no, he says good reporting.
Oh,
Keep
good
us
reporting.
posted.
I thought
He's like, good reporting. Keep us posted. It's like, and so that's the thing, right? Like, so I guess the question then becomes, do we enforce our laws? Like, is that something we should do? I would think that's a no-brainer, but I feel like for some
not
states,
a no-brainer at all. We have to use our brains.
There are multiple issues that both parties use for campaigning: immigration, gun control, taxes, budgets, Social Security, etc.
Abortion.
If one side or the other put something permanent in place, they wouldn't
get their base out,
have those issues to campaign and raise money. I'm agreeing with that. If for some reason I gave some sort of impression that I wasn't, that's not the case. I 100% agree. I cannot believe that out of the millions and millions of Americans that Biden and Trump are our candidates. We are so fucked either way. I don't disagree. I sat and I was thinking about this as we were going through the debates, like when we would publish or live stream the debates, and sitting there and seeing like Doug Burgum, Vivek Ramaswamy, like we were seeing good potential candidates, and what we are left with is just disappointing is like the best way I know how to word it. No police officers are assaulted in New York City unless done by illegal immigrants, Hamas supporters, and Black Lives Matter rioters. John Miller interviewed Osama bin Laden, by the way. Oh, speaking of which, the Tucker Carlson interview with Vladimir Putin I think that's going to be really good. His like promo or his preview clip that I didn't save it to pull it up, but it looks like it's going to be a really, really good interview. And he even said at the end of it, he was like, I think the American people deserve to hear this conversation. And I asked Zelensky to participate, like So it would be really cool to see legitimate journalism taking place. You go interview Putin, and then you go interview Zelensky and see, is it really what we're being told by the US media that Putin is just completely unwilling to compromise? Or is it that the United States is telling Ukraine not to compromise?
The latter.
Yeah,
Let me guess.
well, amen, Heavy. This is all we
I
have.
mean, can we put fucking odds on it? I bet the latter's gonna have is a minus 250. That's fucking sucks for America that's where we're at.
Yeah.
That's shitty.
Forget the candidates for president. Look at the 535 members of
You're
Congress
right.
who have mostly been there for decades.
100%. It's all of it.
Oh, speaking of being there for decades, good. I love it when the
Good
audience
segue.
kind of tease me up to the next clip. Mitch McConnell had to come to the
God.
mic today.
Ertl.
Senator Ted Cruz had a press conference around noon today, said that you shouldn't have even tried to negotiate with Democrats, said this bill was designed to fail, and that it's time for you to step down as GOP leader. What's your response to that?
I think we can all agree that Senator Cruz is not a fan.
That's it. Like you don't even address the fact that you probably shouldn't be negotiating for
That it's a bad bill. You don't even
Right.
say, yeah, this bill's fucked. He's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Well, and you know what would have to happen then at that point, Chris, is there would have to
lose
be
a
an
lot of money.
admission that they come out and say, you know what, we didn't write this bill. We really didn't even read it before we passed it on to you guys. Now, in
put the onus on
hindsight,
y'all.
after kind of looking through this, you're right. It's not very good. You know what I mean? Like, they would have to admit it. All these old fucks need to be American heroes and resign. Amen. But okay,
Yes.
so Heavy,
Can
hold on. I want to come back to this real quick.
Will you sew 500 fucking capes and we'll hand them out as you retire? We'll give you your cape. You put it on. You dance off in the sunset like a fucking superhero. Heavy can sing a song.
Heavy, I want to come to this real quick though. Would enough younger people fill the roles, or would they remain empty? And I mean, that's part of the problem, right? We have so much apathy. And
There's
I
a whole
talk
bunch
about
of
this.
activists that will fill it
Right. But
on the wrong side.
I wonder, you know, it's funny because I don't like to keep referencing my book club, but because it's so relevant to some of these conversations that we have.
No, it's all you should be.
Well,
it's phenomenal.
One of the things that that they talk about in these debates in the Constitutional Convention is they talk about, they really drilled down and debated and fought and went back and forth on how long should these people be permitted to stay. And at the time, they wanted lifetime appointments for the Senate, the judiciary, and the presidency. The only turnover would be in the House of Representatives. And the reason for that was that you would have people that were like, they wouldn't have a vested interest in some sort of like political play because they were just going to be there anyway. Like there would be no more like sides would be taken in the Senate, which it's an interesting perspective to take, but we kind of see that now. We have a uniparty. We have a group of individuals sitting in the Senate that have, for the most part, I think the average age is like 67 people or something. Or 67 years old is what I mean. And so it's like they're kind of fulfilling that prophecy anyway, unintentionally. Yeah, they were dying before 40. That's true. Jake said, do we think Putin or Zelensky or any other world leader is going to be any more honest with us than our media and politicians? Well, Jake, I think it's we're at least having the conversation. When's the last time that you saw a legitimate interview from somebody willing to ask hard questions from Vladimir Putin since the war started? That's not coming from Russian propaganda. That's not coming from MSNBC. I haven't seen MSNBC interview Vladimir Putin. And so when you say that's going to be more honest, no, he can lie, but we can watch that, right? Like we can watch Tucker ask the questions. I don't know. Did you see the interview? What do you replace cancer with when your doctor cuts it out? Nothing. I love you, rude boy. They weren't making it to 80 years old when all of this was drawn up. You know, you're right. Jake, that's because it hasn't released yet. So I'm giving Tucker the benefit of the doubt of knowing how huge this interview is going to be, that he is going to approach it with some sort of level of journalistic standard. If Fox were in here, he'd be saying, fuck you, no. That he won't because he hates Tucker. But I do think of what we have right now, right? If you look at our media class, the people, would I sit across the seat from Vladimir Putin and ask really hard questions? Fuck yes, I would. I'd probably die afterwards, but I'd try to find a way to get the information out to you guys. But my hopeful expectation is that Tucker at least approaches this interview with the severity and seriousness that the American people who are forking out tons of money for this war would get. I do find it interesting, though, that he said Zelensky has not accepted his offer. Why would Zelensky not take his offer? Heavy says Tucker is considered a Russian op, depending on who you ask.
And that's going to happen when you're doing the shit like this. I mean, they're going to ridicule you. They don't want that shit out. They don't want any opposition to anything. And they had their hands full with Gaza. Now, do you think they want another one of those happening with Russia?
Right.
That's the worst for them. Zelensky's not going to do it. Zelensky's not going to do it because he's a fucking puppet.
Jake says we'd have to spin up an entire Gold Corps rescue mission to get you out of Russia. They already think Gold Corps
put together in 72 hours. Done.
Right. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So before I go to another clip, big news also came out today. Trump is not immune from prosecution in his 2020 election interference case. So this is a pretty big deal. And I need to pull up a clip or an article that I had pulled up. Hang on. So a federal appeals panel ruled that he can face trial on charges that he plotted to overturn the results of the 2020 election, and tried to stay in office. So here's the thing, right? And I just kind of want to talk this out with you guys in as calm and collected fashion as possible. So this, for me, I am not a lawyer. I am not well practiced or well versed. So, and I think everybody knows that, right? But just from a general American perspective, from me as just a citizen sitting in the country, Donald Trump, what are some of your guys' news sources? I don't trust any of them. So you should listen to my morning show, Heavy. Like, that's all. I am the news. No, I'm just kidding. I have an app. It's a news aggregator that it's called Newsbreak, and it pulls it based off of headlines, local news, etc., memes. And so I look at, I know.
That is awesome because I do the same thing. So if there isn't any news, I just make one.
I will read. So this Donald Trump situation, right? Tomorrow, if I do a morning show tomorrow, usually I don't on Patriots and Petticoats nights, but I will read 6 different articles from 6 different news sources and try to kind of like thread out what the truth is from all perspectives. So I'm the worst person to ask because I'll read CNN, I'll read MSNBC, I'll read Fox News, I'll read Newsweek, just because I want like a broad idea of what's going on. And then if I'm getting and then I go to Twitter. Like, if there is a single topic that, and I will say one of the greatest things that Elon Musk has done with Twitter is he's really effectively changed how the search terms and searchability of the platform works. So if there is something like that's happening real time or that you want to know about, just go fucking type it in the search, just like a few keywords, and you'll find like tons of that kind of stuff. When I follow news, I like BBC. Yeah, I ran a BBC article this morning in my morning show when they talked about, there were tons of people speculating about, because Harry was rushing home, that King Charles was dying. There were all these rumors going around, and BBC's like, it's not prostate cancer, but he's gonna be fine. The prognosis looks pretty good, which they could be lying, but they were the only one that was like kind of even keeled about the entire situation. Everybody took my fun conspiracy theory away yesterday about Nostradamus, so I'm mad about that. But okay, back to Donald Trump. Sorry, I digress. So just from my perspective, this sets a horrible precedent. And by precedent, I mean something that could retroactively be effective, right? So do you guys remember when George Bush came out and said that we were going into Iraq for weapons of mass destruction and entered us into an entire war that got thousands of people killed? I remember that too. So that was a bold-faced lie, and we know that now, right? So what happens when you say that the actions of an individual taken while they were president, when they supposedly have immunity from prosecution, then move into civilian life, and you go and prosecute them for the crimes that they committed as president, which is what is happening in Donald Trump's situation. So he exhausted all legal means, picking up the phone as president and calling the Secretary of State in Georgia and saying, yo, bro, shit doesn't look right down there in Fulton County. I'm going to need you to look into that before you certify this election. That is not trying to stay in office. That's just saying, look, some shit looks fishy. Things don't look right. And I'm not saying that Donald Trump went about everything the right way. He surrounded himself, just like his entire fucking presidency, with the wrong people. So you had Sidney Powell, you had all of those people with their Dominion bullshit and all of that, Rudy Giuliani. Like, it was a disaster after that election with those people running their mouths about things that were completely irrelevant. Now, I haven't seen Donald Trump's text messages. I don't know what he was telling people behind the scenes. We'll see that as this trial plays out. But I want to be clear. Like, if we're going back and prosecuting presidents for crimes committed in office once they become civilians, I look forward to all of the lawsuits for all of the presidents that are still alive. Bill Clinton, both of the Bushes, Barack Obama. Fast and Furious took place during Barack Obama's administration. Are we going to prosecute him and Eric Holder for those things? Because I think that should happen. Accessory to murder for Brian Terry. Go to prison. Like, that's what kind of precedent this is setting by forcing Donald Trump. Now, don't get me wrong. If this all has to play out now. This appeals court has now said that you don't have immunity, and we're going to go see what that looks like. I don't want Trump. I didn't want him, but I don't want him I wanted him to lose the primary. I wanted the Republican Party to say, these are things, yes, he's not fit for office. He's not. He had horrible judgment. Look at COVID. Look at bump stock bans. Look at the people that he had horrible judgment with regards to the people who he surrounded himself with. Awful. And yet people are still like blindly or just like, I wanted him to lose the primary, but he didn't. And now he's the Republican candidate. I wanted somebody to make Joe Biden quit, but they didn't. So he's the Democratic candidate. And that's what we're left with at this point. But I'm going back to this again. setting the precedent that he should be prosecuted for crimes committed while president. That's a horrible precedent to set for future presidents and for past presidents. Because what's to stop anybody from coming after these people too?
Yep.
Based Chris, look at me. I'm the news source now.
That's Heather. Heather is my news source.
I was just kidding. I would never actually be serious and say that.
But I listen to an array of podcasts.
Yeah. Brian Kemp for president. Ew.
He loves Brian Kemp.
Do you really, Heavy?
Yeah, he really does. Oh, that was a sigh we all wanted.
Yeah.
It was a mom
We need
sigh.
someone. I know it was
You
totally
just got a
sigh.
C-, and you tried really hard, Heavy. And she doesn't want to be mean, so you just got the mom sigh. Well, that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna get better next.
We'll try harder next time.
But hey, it's okay this time. You know, now you've seen the field. You know what's coming.
Tears are streaming. We need a relatable president. I don't disagree with you. It would be really nice to see somebody young and fresh and untainted, uncorrupted. It would be awesome.
Oh,
I know it's too much.
I wanted the Taliban art dealer, but then you went all in with tainted and corrupted. Okay, we can't have that.
Can't have Argento.
Fuck. How about Jake then?
Jake could be president. So Nikki Haley wants to be president, though.
And the campaign disclosures came out. And here of his campaign donations, he paid $50 million in legal fees for personal cases against himself. Think about that. $50 million. So now it's clear why he wants me to get out of the race. Is because he needs more money to pay for his legal fees. And it's true. The rumor mill in the campaign trail was that he doesn't have much money. And I thought, well, that can't be the case. But I noticed he doesn't have any commercials on TV here. He's not doing any events here. Up until now, he hasn't been here. And so I knew he was doing less and less, but now we know why. He's saving it for his legal fees. I have no issues with him and him running. What I do have issues with is our country is in disarray and the world is on fire and we need to start to get to work to fix her. That's the problem.
Can you believe there's people who oh my God, free machine guns for everybody if Jake's president. Fuck yeah, I'm down for that. I'd vote for Nikki over Trump or Biden.
Oh, God. Love you, Heavy.
Oh, God.
It's hard. It's hard as parents, right, Heather? It's hard because we want the kids to live their own life.
I can't tell if he's trolling right now. If he's
he's trolling. He's got to be trolling.
Got to be trolling. Can't be serious about that.
Nobody says that unless you wear that hat like that lady did in the tights in the front row of that video. I mean, she might say
that. She even sounds weak. Yes. Well, she sounds like she just wants to fucking bomb some countries.
Just fucking get my husband's company back up and running, baby.
Yeah. Fuck.
My nice warm board seat over there at Raytheon.
I'd look at New York City subway floor before I voted for Nikki.
Fuck yeah, I would. No bullshit.
Oh my God. I'd
that
have
bitch
to
is fucking evil.
Preemptively take a tuberculosis test. Who would you vote for, Nikki or Biden?
So that's the issue. That's what we're fucking going to talk about right now.
Yeah, because potentially.
But I might vote for Joe Biden in that scenario.
I'm on Jake's team. Yeah, there is in the race.
That's the worst ticket
right now,
you could imagine.
She is the worst possible candidate for president of anybody.
We will be at war.
I would have voted for Chris Christie before I would vote for Nikki Haley.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's not many Republicans that I would vote under Nikki and Crenshaw.
Yeah.
That whole.
Oh God, man.
They're not Republicans. They're not the Republican. They're not in the Republican Party that I claim.
They're not even like they're not. I don't even like consider her an American. Like
No, she's part of the war machine. She's set there for the war machine. Yes, Rude Boy and Jake. That is the fucking ticket.
Casey says, "Thank God Jake is close. If I need a lawyer, dude, I'll be Jake's VP. He'll pass out the machine guns. I'll pass out the blunts." Jake says, "I'll probably just vote the Libertarian ticket before I vote RRD this election."
Yeah, I would too, and that's who I'd vote for. I bet RFK wins too.
That's the independent ticket. He's talking about the Libertarian ticket. I actually
who's running there?
Who knows?
Okay.
I think they're still in there. Like,
I might write Jake Saunders in if that's
their nomination process. Okay. Elon Musk has like declared war against Disney. And by declaring war, like he explicitly came out today and said, if you have ever worked at Disney, hold on, I want to make sure I quote him directly because why is this not working? Nope, just kidding. This is just a joke. None of my stuff is working. This happens like every stream. I don't know how like famous people do this shit where everything works great. So he said, if you were
do you want to know how?
How?
They have 50 fucking people doing it for them in the back.
Yeah. He said, if you were discriminated against, yeah. Hey, Jamie, pull that up for me.
Exactly.
If you were discriminated against by Disney or its subsidiaries, ABC, ESPN, Marvel, etc., just reply to this post to receive legal support.
I just saw that.
So Gina Carano is one of the people that he is representing or that he's paying the legal for. So this was the thing. He was like, an anonymous source just sent me this from Disney. It is mandatory institutionalized racism and sexism. So this is like the standards for on-screen representation. At least 3 of the 5 areas need to be met to fulfill standard A. Standard B, at least 3 of the 6 areas need to be met. So these are all like criteria. And you have to, so it's literally like, it's insane. So I'm just going to read just a couple of these. Actors, 50% or more of regular and recurring actors come from underrepresented groups. Characters, 50% or more of regular recurring written characters come from underrepresented groups. Series premise, meaningful integration of underrepresented groups in overall themes and narratives. So, like, you wondered why we're in a position that everything that we're seeing seems like it's over-representing certain individuals. Well, that's because it is. Okay.
Oh, that's fair.
Each of you, wave a magic wand. Who would you elect? You can pick anyone.
Jake Saunders. Done. Let's roll. What are we even talking about? She doesn't vote because we've already waved the wand. The 19th is gone. Don't worry about it. Next. We've moved on. We've already elected our president. I don't know why we're still sitting here talking about it. Jake, close the fucking border. Let's all go to work.
Honored y'all would vote for me. Rude Boy says, I haven't been impressed with anyone in the Libertarian Party who's run in some time. Same, Rude Boy, same. We'll merge the ATF and the DEA and turn it into a chain of convenience stores.
Oh, dude, we better have some sick slushies there.
Finishing Vernon Supreme doesn't do it. Don't like boots, huh?
I don't know what that means. Help me.
The Vermin Supreme is the guy that wears the spaghetti colander on his head. Anyway, how are they underrepresented? They're 50%.
Because we didn't learn math on our way up in our DEI school system.
He was pretty base, but I didn't know enough about him to support him or not. I win by default. Heather will be my press secretary. Oh God, please let me in there. Please. I want one day at that podium to like handle the media and the press. Just one day. I don't care
That'd be
what
awesome. That'd be a lot
administration
of
it's
fun.
for. Just one day. I just want to be up there one day. If I ever get cancer and I'm like on my deathbed, I'm calling the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and that's going to be my fucking wish. Let me handle the media at a press conference one time.
Tell KJP to sit down for the day. I got this.
Yeah. Standard C, below the line. So this is where we get 50% or more key roles. Any mid-level crew and technical positions come from underrepresented groups. So it's like every single line is nothing but you must be with represented groups. Underrepresented groups have to fill these roles for you to be in compliance. Okay, I've got a story that you guys will be excited to chime in on. Florida mom,
yes,
has been banned from dropping off and picking up her kids from a Christian school.
Okay.
The other photo that she was wearing was very inappropriate. So this is a kid's show. We're not gonna, and it's not really, but Hayden might be watching. She watched last week. Because she was advertising her OnlyFans on her car. So this is her car. She had her big OnlyFans, Piper Fawn, or whatever her name is, and picking up her kids. So the school was like, no, ma'am. You have to park across the street and walk your children across the street from now on. You cannot get in the car rider line. So my question to you guys, she's arguing freedom of speech, that this is infringing upon her freedom of speech rights. And so I pose the question to you guys. What are your all's thoughts on this? Should she be able to go through her Christian private school with her OnlyFans advertisement in the car rider line? Or, I mean, would you guys want your kids? Actually, what resulted? So a child,
of course,
looked her OnlyFans up at the
child's
school.
mom looked her OnlyFans.
No. A boy pulled her
well.
OnlyFans up at school and was showing everyone because he saw her advertisement in the parking lot. He got suspended. So that's what prompted this entire situation of her advertisement. So I'm curious to hear your all's thoughts. Okay, I'm going to go through these chats real quick. Spike Cohen was good. If anyone says they'll legalize weed, they have my vote, including Donald Trump. Chris will be Secretary of Education, will require every school to make trades prerequisite for all degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to learn how to build or fix something.
Private schools, tough luck. First Amendment limits government.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
Yeah, dude, that's because that's some good shit. And let me tell you something. I wish we had that when I was a kid. What kind of Mac Daddy hustle you can get on nowadays, man? If I could be young again, god damn. You kids got it fucking made. All these cougars are fucking whores now. All the dreams that we had when we were 15 and 16 years old, it's happening.
Oh my God. We can't talk about this. This will be a fight for us. I can't have this discussion with you. Oh my God. I can't do it.
God,
I get so fucking mad. Oh, it makes me so mad. All these women, go type in school teacher molest student, and the number of articles that are popping up is astro-fucking-nomical. And you're in here fucking condoning it. Oh, the cougars.
You know what we had when I was in high school?
15-year-old boys. Ooh.
We had fucking bake-offs, okay? With fucking bake-offs.
Good.
These guys at
and
the
look,
Christmas
you fucking turned out halfway fucking decent. God.
I mean, no.
Whatever. Stop it.
Bake-offs. These guys get OnlyFans, on the, you don't even have to guess anymore. Before you're like, man, should I make my move? Like, is Tommy's mom
on the
cool?
mom in the fucking car?
Yeah,
no. No. Oh, God. Man. Otter says if she pays the tuition, there's nothing in any rule book, then...
Hey, go check that fucking principal's goddamn fucking hard drive. For real. That tuition's paid for. Trust me.
God.
That's a Forrest Gump shit going on there.
What does that mean?
Didn't that mom fuck that dude so Forrest could go get in that school?
Oh, yep.
Yep, that's what's happening right now. Whoever's that kid's gonna have the best in life. Mom's gonna fuck it all the way up.
Can we talk about that though? Like just for just a minute? Like, what about her kids? Like she's dropping 3 kids off while she's advertising her fucking OnlyFans.
How many dads?
I don't know.
If it's one, that's pretty impressive.
There's at least one guy is participating in the fucking OnlyFans with her.
Did you look it up, Heather? Be honest with me.
No, sir.
I wish you would have gave me this story earlier. I could have researched it if you didn't, so I can't really talk that educational about it. It's too much for you.
I am fuck, man.
Whorecraft. It's all
Fucking
whorecraft.
World of Whorecraft. That's what it is. That is what it is. God,
boys and girls are so different. And that's okay. And it's okay to be different.
Jake, the kids aren't even a thought. No, they're not. And for me, that's a problem. Like, what? Like,
it's the oldest profession on the planet, isn't it? That's what I heard.
Oh, yeah, probably. So that makes it okay then.
Nope. No, it's awful. It's fucking awful. And it's awful that young man pulled that up on his internet in school. The call of that young man. Like, but we knew that was going to happen, right?
Yeah. Fuck.
So, but yeah, it's a Christian private school, right? I think they can have their own rules,
and
so
okay. So what about your son that now gets teased endlessly because your mom shoved a fucking corn cob up her goddamn asshole?
So where I came from, that'd have been cool. You'd have been in the cool crowd. And I'm not lying. Nobody's making fun of you. They're like, hey.
No, Chris.
Yeah,
fatherless behavior
absolutely.
on. Yes. Thank you so much.
And
Whiskey,
that's
good to see you guys in
100%. But I
here.
bet it's also the house where you can go to the basement and get stoned in too and have parties.
It should be legal, but it should be shamed. That's the results of my polls so far. Ends tomorrow. I'll retweet it in a bit.
Nice. I'll get on that.
Of course, the kid pulled it up. Wondering how the kid got an OnlyFans account to view this. Do you have to have an account to view OnlyFans accounts? How does that work? I've never used the Whorecraft site. Jake, what are you telling us about yourself right now?
What's her name again? What was her OnlyFans? I'll pull it up real quick.
I'm done with you. I am done with you. Okay, we're gonna go Peter Ducey. Okay, so real quick, I've got 2 Peter Ducey clips because I love this man.
How is President Biden ever going to convince the 3/4 of voters who are worried about his physical and mental health that he is okay, even though in Las Vegas he told a story about recently talking to a French president who died in 1996?
I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole with you,
What?
sir.
What is
We're
the
going to
rabbit
go.
hole?
Go ahead.
He said
go
he
ahead.
talked to Mitterrand.
Go ahead. You saw the president in Vegas, in California. You've seen the president in South Carolina. You saw him in Michigan. I'll just leave it there. Go ahead.
So here's the thing. This actually did happen, and she just doesn't obviously want to address it. He did say, yeah, I just talked to whatever the guy, Mitterrand or whatever his name is. It was like 81 to 50 or 95 is when this guy like served in office. And Joe Biden's like, yeah, I just talked to him. It's like, bro, are you seeing ghosts? Because like, what are you talking about? Oh, God damn it. Otter.
What happened?
It was a zucchini, not a corn cob.
Oh, yeah.
Whiskey Cat Pod. Lol. Is that the ex-Chicago mayor? No, well, it might as well be at this point. No, that's Corinne Jean-Pierre. That's our press secretary. Okay, so here's Peter Ducey. You know the clips, like the meme clips that go on the internet where it's like, na 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 na, and they put like the sunglasses down on them or whatever? This is one of those clips. It's fucking great.
Thank you. So, you guys talk a lot, including today, about how the border wouldn't be such a big deal if Congress would have just passed your immigration bill on day one. Who was in charge of Congress on day one?
So it's been 3 years. It's been three whole years, more than 3 years, more than 1,000 days. And look, this is a difficult issue, obviously. This is a difficult issue. And what we have said is that Congress has to act, right? Congress, Democrats, Republicans have to act. But in those 3 years, it is true that Republicans have gotten in the way. They just have, Peter. They have consistently used immigration, the immigration system, the broken system, as a political stunt. That's what they've done. They've gotten in the way in trying to get more Border Patrol agents. They've gotten in the way in actually trying to fix what's happening, the challenges at the border. They did.
So
I mean, they voted.
Democrats
They've
that were in
actually
charge for the
voted.
first 2 years, no responsibility.
It has. I'm not saying that Democrats have not been in control the first 2 years. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying House Republicans have gotten in the way. They have. They have purposefully gotten in the way in trying to fix what's happening at the border.
I don't want to start screaming again.
How many? Hold on. It's a pickle now. I am done with you guys. I'm never bringing World of Warcraft onto Patriots and Petticoats ever again. You cannot be trusted. The presidential Ouija board.
Ooh.
Great value brand Kamala.
That's funny.
I miss the circle back around lady.
She was awesome.
Oh man. Okay. This clip right here, I kind of like lost faith in America a little bit with this one.
15 times 4.
15 times 4.
Gosh.
20, 30, 23.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
4. 48, 48. 48.
What? How did they get there?
I'll say 48.
Why did I say
48?
How did they get there?
4.
Was that Common Core?
4 people at a university. Do you want me to play it again? Let me play it again.
What is 15 times 4?
15 times 4.
Gosh.
20, 30, 23.
Did they say 28, 30?
48, 48. 48.
Fucking Christ.
I'll say 48.
Why did I say
48?
The circle back lady made me dizzy. She never stopped circling. So
what are we teaching?
Not math.
No.
Because and so that clip showed me two things. The first, that can't do math. The second, that even if you can do math, you start questioning yourself because everyone around you has said another number and they're all starting to agree with it, and you're unwilling to say anything different, so you agree with it too. Both of those are horrible fucking things. The follow the leader and the I can't do very simple first grade math.
I don't. So the centralized education system. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. It's like a whole nother
I was
show.
like, that's like.
Hey, I don't really know that much about
minutes.
it. To be honest with you, Heather, I don't know much about it, but I'm fixing to.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting because you and Riley are so close, and Riley's such a smart kid and a self-starter. It will be really interesting to see, like, and maybe we can have her come on the show occasionally just to give like here's a weekly update from what I learned at school this week. Like make her a segment in the show, because that would be fun
without getting her in trouble, right? I don't want. Yeah, if
we
she's
could even black her face out.
Yeah,
we don't have.
We'll see.
She can.
She's pretty upfront like me, so she'll probably. Be like, fuck that. I'll tell him.
Dissolve the Department of Education. Oh,
well,
okay,
then I won't have a job to be secretary over. So.
Right. Yeah, that's true. You'll take his job away from him.
We will be teaching. We will be doing a little heat and air work on Mondays. little electrician work on Tuesdays. Maybe learn a little plumbing on Wednesday. Thursday, we take off to bet football. Friday, drink a little beer. Saturday, we learn how to go out and do a side job for an uncle or a cousin, because that's going to come once you're in the trades. And then Sunday, we work on our truck, and then we wash, rinse, and repeat. What? You look kind of shocked or surprised?
No, I was reading True's comment, and I've got like the screen pulled up to pull the clip up. True said my daughter has to go to a job fair at that school next month to look for potential new hires. That's so the school that I just pulled the clip up for.
Oh,
his
what?
daughter has to go there to look for potential new hires.
So how old are these kids?
They're college students.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. No. Okay. My head's still on the OnlyFans school. Yeah, those other college students. Yeah, I forgot those were college students. That was pretty ridiculous. And also, just so we can all be keeping up, the under hit on the Iowa State Texas game. So 3 units in the bank account. Thank you.
I want to play one more clip, and then we're going to get to 2 truths and a lie. So this is, he's being grilled, and this is the guy. I'm just going to play the clip, and then we'll go from there.
I have children who attend schools who have soccer games, y'all. You know, you all are asking me as if I'm not a parent in this city. I get it. I'm mayor. I get it. But you're asking me to give you a date, and I have to court. Do you understand that you have not had a mayor like me? I get that. I have a wife. I have children. They have schedules. And plus, we still have public safety that we have to address. We still have the unhoused that we have to address. I still have a budget that I have to address. And I'm doing all of that with a black wife raising 3 black children on the west side of the city of Chicago. I am going to the border as soon as possible.
So he's being grilled about
What's it matter about their race, Heather? Isn't
Hold on. Can you teach them how to cook? Kennesaw State is this school. Oof. That lady on the right looks like a Gotham villain.
For real.
Their race doesn't have anything to do with it, but I did play the clip because it's interesting, right? Like, first of all, I personally, oh my God, who's this zucchini? That's the mayor of Chicago is who that was. So I don't give a shit if I am. Hold on, guys. Hold on before you like rail all over him. He is he is a city mayor in the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago. If I were him, what I would do is I would declare our city is no longer a sanctuary city. Chicago is no longer a sanctuary city. We will no longer be accepting migrants. That's what I would do at that point in time. But he's a socialist. He is a hardcore democratic socialist. He's not going to say that. So they're like, when are you going to go to the border? When are you going to go talk to Governor Abbott? When are you going to go down here and do this? Because their city has been overrun at this point. They are in dire straits with their situation with regards to the immigrants. So I can understand they're putting pressure on him, but by the same token, if I live in Chicago, Illinois, I don't need my mayor going down to Texas to talk about the border. I need my mayor to handle the shit that's going on in the city of Chicago. And so that's the question I was going to pose to you guys. He's talking about like, oh, I've got a wife, I've got kids, I've got a schedule, but you also signed up for this job and they signed up for this job by like connection. So what do you guys think about that? Like, is that a valid excuse to not, go to the border or go do those things? Because he is different. That's what he said. He goes, I know you guys aren't used to having a mayor like me. They're used to Lori Lightfoot, who was a lesbian that looked like Beetlejuice. And she didn't do shit. Like, she didn't have any other responsibilities outside of the city.
So going to the border does nothing. It's ridiculous. So you're right. You either unsanctuary your city and start shipping these people out. Because the cities could do that, like mass immigration. They could do that.
Yeah.
On that level, and that's one way that it could get done is on a local level. But whether you do that or not, neither here nor there. But he could stop it.
Yep.
But going to the border isn't going to do anything.
No, nothing.
And we all, motherfucker, we all have kids and goddamn wives, bro. And we all sometimes have to get on airplanes and leave. For fuck's sake.
He has a lieutenant governor he's trying to still handle city stuff, send his number to. I agree.
They did.
Well, he's not a governor, he's a mayor. But
Yeah.
he probably does have.
They did send a number to
you don't vote for me, you're not black.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That's
it's
real.
the
He said that shit.
Do what?
I said Biden said that shit.
I know he did.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies, tell me lies. Oh, no, no, you can't.
It's time for your favorite segment, Two
Yep.
Truths and a Lie.
Let's go.
Okay, if you're new here, don't cheat. Do not use Google because it's way more fun. Sorry, Fever. No, it's okay, Casey. I'm sorry that you don't feel good. Okay, so real quick before we start this, if you're too busy to go tell your citizens you're too busy working for them in the city, but you'll Zoom call Abbott or something to get an idea of what to do. I think that's a great idea. Not true. It did much good when AOC went to the border. Which time? The time she cried by the fence in her white outfit, or has she been down there since then? Okay. Two Truths and a Lie. For those who are new, this is a segment that we do at the end of every show where I tell 3 stories. One is a lie and the other 2 are true. You have to guess which one is the lie. And then you don't cheat. This is my mom finger where I tell you don't look it up on Google. And so we'll get started. First story. In a response to the global challenge of urban overpopulation and limited living space, Japan has announced plans to launch the world's first cloud city by 2050. This ambitious project aims to create a sustainable and fully functional city floating above the Earth's surface, harnessing advanced aerostatic technology and renewable energy sources. The project, spearheaded by the innovative tech giant Skyward Solutions, promises a revolutionary approach to urban development. It will float at an altitude of approximately 2,000 feet, supporting a self-sufficient community with residential areas, parks, offices, and shopping centers. The city is designed to be eco-friendly, utilizing solar panels and wind turbines for its power needs, featuring rainwater harvesting systems for water sustainability. Story number 2. Indian police cleared a suspected Chinese spy pigeon after 8 months detention and released it into the wild. The pigeon's ordeal began in May when it was captured near a port in Mumbai with 2 rings tied to its legs, carrying words that looked like Chinese. Police suspected it was involved in espionage and took it in, later sending it to Mumbai's Bhai Sakarbi Dinshaw Petite Hospital for Animals. Story number 3. A continent lost under the surface of the ocean, which may have once been inhabited by up to 500,000 people, has been discovered. The submerged land is said to be almost twice the size of the United Kingdom and has been dubbed Lost Atlantis. Researchers believe the land has been submerged for 70,000 years. It's found off the coast of Australia and between the areas of Kimberley and Arnhem. The team behind the findings from the Quaternary Science Reviews also considered sonar mapping, which found fresh water lakes, and they consider the land to have been habitable to humans. Those are your 3 stories. Which one is the lie?
1 or 2. I'm stuck between 1 or 2 right now. Will you give me the 2 headlines on one?
Yes. Cloud City project announced to combat overpopulation. And Indian police clear a suspected Chinese spy pigeon.
Fuck, man. That's hard. It's got to be 2 because the other one seems pretty believable. God, you have a good imagination sometimes.
Rude Boy says Lost Atlantis City is the answer. Jake says number 1, the
I'm on
Cloud
2.
City to combat overpopulation. Casey says 2. Chris says 2. Pigeons aren't real, so Otter, which one do you think? You think that the Sky City is a lie? So Jake says 1. Tex says 2. Atlantis is in Africa. Okay. We really need to. You have to put the Jeopardy music on your soundboard
Okay, I will.
between now and next week, because I
have
never know
something.
like how long to wait for people to chime in. But I think that's about everybody who's been talking through the show. So the lie is number 1. There's a city for overpopulation.
Pay that man his money.
I got quite a few of you. There were a couple that were like, yes, it's true, Japan. I almost started making like debate arguments with you guys where I'm like, but it could be for another area that's overpopulated. Like, I get it, Japan's not making babies. But then I was like, no, they'll know that I'm defending my own answer. So I'm not going to do it. Oh gosh. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you guys a whole bunch. I appreciate all of your input through the show. To everyone who goes back and listens to the replay, you should come live so you can participate with us.
Listen to Finney.
Listen to Finney.
I'm gonna tell it. Corn pops a bad too.
He sounds so little on that.
He was when
he was little bitty. It's been what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, that was our first NFL season.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just that's my son, so that you guys know. He's a staple on the Patriot Sports Radio show. So
Bills fan. Got to bring him in for the Bills Mafia.
he is a big Bills fan. All right, guys, you take care. Have a wonderful night. Love you guys.